Hello everyone. Today's presentation is not just about science or study topics, it is about thinking beyond them. Measurement helps us understand the world around us, but it also raises a deeper question. Is what we see truly reality or only our way of observing it? As science developed, it revealed that observation itself can change understandings. This makes measurement more than numbers and instrument. It becomes a bridge between what we see and what actually is, encouraging us to think more deeply about reality and existence. Measurement is one of the most important tools created by humanity. Every day, we use measurements without even thinking about it. We measure time using clocks, distance using rulers, temperature using thermometers, and speed using vehicles' speedometers. Measurement helps us organize life, compare things, and understand the world scientifically. But measurement is much more than reading numbers. It involves observation, recognizing patterns, mathematics, and interpretation. Imagine holding a cup of tea. Your hand can only tell whether it feels hot or cold, but a thermometer converts that feeling into exact numbers. In the same way, science transforms observation into measurable knowledge. Measurement allows humans to move from simple guessing to accurate understanding. Without measurement, science and technology could not exist in their modern form. What we see is not exactly what reality truly is. Human senses do not directly observe the universe in its pure form. Instead, our eyes and brain work together to create interpretations of reality. For example, when you look at the red apple, you think the apple itself is red. But scientifically, the apple only reflects the red wavelength of light, and your brain interprets those wavelengths as the red color. Another example is watching the sunset. Sun appears to move across the sky, but in reality, the earth is rotating. What we observe can sometimes differ from what actually happening physically. Different animals also experience different reality. Bees can see ultraviolet patterns invisible to humans. Snakes can detect heat, and bats use sound echoes to navigate. This shows that observation depends partly on observer. Measurement and observation therefore act like a translators between humans and the deeper reality of nature. Measurement does not capture reality completely. It creates a representation of reality. Maps helps us understand a city, but a map is not actual city itself. Similarly, scientific measurements helps us understand nature, but they are models and representations rather than the reality in its untouched form. For example, when we see a temperature 40 degrees Celsius displayed on a thermometer, the number itself is not a heat. It is only symbolic representation of molecular motion interpreted through scientific systems. In the same way, graphs, equations, and instruments describe patterns in nature but are not nature itself. Mathematics gives science extraordinary power because it allows humans to describe physical behavior precisely. However, equations are still models created to explain observations. Science continuously improves those models to become more accurate, but reality itself may always be richer and deeper than the descriptions that humans create. One of the most fascinating discoveries in modern physics is that the act of measurement can change the system being measured. In everyday life, this effect may seem small but still exists. For example, when checking the pressure of tire, a tiny amount of air escapes during measurement. When thermometer measures the hot water, it absorbs a little heat from the water itself. In quantum physics, this effect becomes extremely important. Scientists discovered that observing the tiny particles like electron changes their behavior. A famous example is that Young's double slit experiment. When electrons are not observed, they behave like waves and form the interference pattern. But when scientists try to measure which path the electron takes, the pattern changes completely. This means that observation itself affects the reality. Measurement is not always passive. Sometimes the observer becomes part of the system being observed. This idea changed the physics forever because it showed that the interaction and observations are deeply connected with nature. The deeper science explores reality, the more it discovers the limits in certainty and knowledge. Werner Heisenberg introduced the uncertainty principle, which shows that certain physical properties like exact position and exact momentum of particle cannot both be known perfectly at the same time. The more accurately one is measured, the less accurately the other can be known. This uncertainty is not caused by weak instruments or human mistakes. It is a fundamental property of nature. Imagine trying to photograph a fast moving fan. If a camera shutter is slow, the image becomes blurred. If the shutter is very fast, one instant is frozen, but the smooth motion is lost. In similar way, nature itself seems to place limits on how perfectly reality can be observed. Observation does not simply reveal reality completely, sometimes it changes the way the reality appears to us. This strange connection between the observation and reality also appears in the famous thought experiment of Erwin Schrödinger, often called Schrödinger's cat. In this experiment, a cat inside a closed box is imagined as being both alive and dead until someone opens the box and observes it. The idea sounds impossible, yet it expresses a deeper scientific and philosophical question. Does observation merely uncover reality, or does it play a role in defining it? Quantum physics suggests that at a very small scales, the observer and the observed cannot always be completely separated. As the science progressed, the measurement stopped being viewed as only a technical process of numbers and instruments. It became connected to a deeper philosophical questions about the truth, existence, and human understanding. Thinkers began asking whether humans ever see reality exactly as it is, or whether we only see a version of reality shaped by our senses, tools, and methods of observation. Science does not claim absolute perfection. Instead, it creates increasingly accurate models to understand the universe better. Every discovery increases knowledge, but at the same time reveals even greater mysteries beyond it. Measurement therefore teaches two important truths together. Humans are capable of understanding the universe in a remarkable depth, yet reality itself may always remain larger than complete human knowledge. In this way, measurement becomes more than science alone. It becomes humanity's bridge between curiosity and mystery, between what can be known and what may forever remain beyond certainty. In conclusion, measurement is more than just numbers, it is humanity's way of trying to understand reality. Science brings us closer to the universe with every discovery, yet the deeper we explore, the more mysteries appears. This leaves us to a profound question: will humans ever understand nature in its true form, or will every answer reveal something entirely new beyond it? And perhaps that endless search itself is what makes science so fascinating. Thank you for your time.